Welcome on to the set of the Fantasy Show. I'm Matthew Berry with Daniel Dopp. And last week at the Fantasy Football Ranking Summit, we set our 2018 Fantasy Football rankings for the year. You can see them right now on ESPN.com. But here are the consensus top 10 wide receivers. Antonio Brown is no shock at number 1. Nuke comes in at number 2. And Davante Adams, taking that number 1 slot in Green Bay, makes his top 10 debut. Surely there are plenty of questions about how it all shook out. So Secret Squirrel, what do you say we do our frequently asked rankings questions segment?
That sounds great. And our first question, actually a very prestigious guest, a big get for the show, a sock of Eli Manning.
Okay, yeah. All the good guests.
Question is, considering OBJ's injury and trade talks and everything else going with it, is OBJ really going to be as high as wide receiver 3 this year?
Thank you for your question, Eli Manning sock. I personally have no concerns about OBJ's performance this year, and neither do any of the other ESPN fantasy analysts. None of us ranked him lower than wide receiver 4 at the ranking summit. All indications are that his ankle has healed well, and that he'll be 100% for the start of the season. And that trade talk, well, it's ended now that the draft is ended. Right or wrong, the Giants are in win-now mode by sticking with Eli, bringing in Saquon Barkley, and that the fact, frankly, means Odell Beckham is going to help your fantasy team win now. There's no question about his talent. All right, Secret Squirrel, what's our next question?
All right, next up from someone not quite as prestigious as Eli Manning. Actually, it's just from me. The question actually, it's not even really a question. I just saw you guys accidentally left Josh Gordon, a Cleveland Brown wide receiver, inside your top 20. I mean, that's a mistake, right?
It actually isn't, believe it or not. Oh, I understand the concerns. There's certainly risk with Josh Gordon, but all reports are that Gordon on the straight and narrow. And assuming that's the case, you could actually make the argument he shouldn't just be in the top 20, but in the top 10. Remember, in 2013, despite playing just 14 games, Gordon led the entire NFL in receiving yards with more than 1,600. Last year, Gordon did have to shake off some rust, but the Browns peppered him with targets. 43 targets in his 5 games. That was top 10 in the NFL. In his last 16 games, he's seen a crazy 168 targets. We know the talent is there. And whether it's Tyrod Taylor or Baker Mayfield under center, the Browns' offense will be better with Gordon being a focal point. All right, Secret Squirrel, what's next?
Last question, Matthew. Obviously, I'm still coming to terms with Eric Ebron no longer being on the Lions, but
Sure,
while mentally working through that, I happen to see that Hunter Henry, who only had 45 catches and 4 touchdowns last year, is tight end 5. I mean, where did that come from?
It came from Antonio Gates moving on from the Chargers. Philip Rivers loves his tight ends. Since 2016, 54% of Rivers' red zone touchdown passes have gone to tight ends. And out of Hunter Henry's 81 career catches, 12 have resulted in touchdowns. That's a crazy rate. He's a huge red zone threat. Henry has always had the talent, and now with Gates gone, he has the opportunity. I'm all in on Hunter Henry in year 3. A reminder that all of our rankings are available right now on ESPN.com, and for an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at how we set the rankings, we have 5 Fantasy Football Now specials on ESPN+.